Going on YouTube, we back at it with another video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below on what you want next. Today we're taking a step back, looking at the entire journey from the seedling stage to the mid-vegetative stage. We are officially at day 32, and it's honestly crazy to see how far these plants have come in just a little over a month. When these plants first started, there wasn't much to look at. Just a few planted seeds in the soil with the hopes of a healthy growth ahead. At that point, there were no multiple tops, no training, no large fan leaves, and definitely no canopy filling the tent. The goal during those first few days was simple: get the seedlings established and help them develop a healthy root system. The seedling stage is often overlooked because the growth in the soil can seem slow. A lot of growers expect explosive growth right away, but what many people don't realize is that some of the most important development is happening where you can't even see it. While the seedling is producing the first leaves above ground, the roots are spreading below the soil, searching for water, nutrients, and oxygen. During those first few days, every little milestone felt important. Seeing the first set of true leaves develop was exciting. Every day brought something new, even if changes seemed small at the time. As the first week came to an end, the plants started becoming more established. Their stems began strengthening and the root systems continued expanding. The leaves slowly became larger, allowing the plants to capture light and increase their growth rate. By the second week, the difference was becoming noticeable. The seedlings were no longer struggling to survive, they were actually growing. New leaves began appearing more frequently. Internodes started stacking, and the plants were showing signs that they were ready to move to vegetative stage. Another thing that stood out during this period was how quickly the growth rate changed. Early on, it felt like nothing happened for days at a time, then suddenly the plants became bigger every morning. That's one of the fun parts about growing. Sometimes the progress isn't noticeable until you compare photos from a week earlier. As the vegetative stage progressed, the plants began focusing on building their structure. Larger fan leaves started forming and branches started to begin expanding outwards. The stems thickened considerably compared to where they started. The plants were no longer tiny seedlings, they were becoming strong young plants capable of handling and training techniques. Around this point, the garden started coming less about simply keeping the plants alive and more about shaping their future. Instead of allowing them to grow however they wanted, decisions were made about how the canopy would develop moving forward. This is where training became an important part of the growth. The first training sessions required patience. Bending the stems and addressing the plant structure can feel uncomfortable when you spent the first weeks carefully protecting the plant. But the purpose wasn't to hurt the plants, it was to encourage a more efficient shape and expose the additional growth sites to light. At first, the effects weren't as dramatic. A stem would be tied down and a branch would be repositioned. The plants looked slightly different, but nothing major seemed to change overnight. Then a few days later, the results became obvious. Growth tips that were once hidden beneath larger leaves began reaching towards the light. Side branches started behaving more like future tops. Areas of the plant that weren't receiving much light suddenly had an opportunity to develop. One of the coolest things about this stage has been watching the plants respond to the work being done. Instead of slowing down, they continue pushing forward and producing new growth. Every adjustment seemed to create a new opportunity for development. The topping process was another major moment during these 32 days. Topping can always be a little nerve-wracking because you're intentionally removing a growing tip that the plant worked hard to produce. But sometimes a short-term sacrifice leads to long-term rewards. After recovering from topping, the plants are redirecting the energy throughout their structure. Instead of focusing all their energy on one main stem, they began distributing growth across multiple areas. Another thing worth mentioning is how different each plant has been despite sharing the same environment. They receive the same light, the same airflow, similar watering practices, and live inside the same tent. Yet every plant has developed differently. Some naturally want to stay compact and bushy, others seem determined to stretch out a little more. Some recover from training faster than others. This is one of the reasons growing never gets boring. Every plant tells its own story. The environment inside the Spider Farmer tent has also played a huge role throughout this journey. Consistent lighting, proper airflow, and maintaining stable conditions have allowed the plants to focus their energy on growth rather than occasionally dealing with environmental stress. As the days continued passing, the canopy became fuller and more organized. Areas that once looked empty started filling in the leaves and branches. Growth sites that were once tiny became more prominent parts of the plant. But before we end this 32-day update, I want to spend some time talking about something that always doesn't get enough attention: the journey itself. A lot of people see healthy plants in a vegetative stage and only focus on what they look like right now. They see the larger leaves, the stronger stems, and the growing canopy, but what they don't always see are the small moments that help create the progress. They don't see the days spent checking moisture levels. They don't see the time spent adjusting branches during training. They don't see the moments wondering if a plant is growing fast enough. They usually don't see the daily routine of opening the tent, expecting every leaf, every stem, and every new growth site. Growing isn't just about the final result, it's about everything that happened along the way. Over these 32 days, the garden has become a part of my daily routine. Every morning starts with checking in on the plants. Every evening usually ends with another look inside the tent. Sometimes there's major changes, sometimes there aren't, but every single day contributes to the overall progress of the grow. One thing I've realized during this grow is that plants have their own way of teaching patience better than anything else. You can't rush root development, you can't rush stem growth, you can't rush branch development. You can't rush a canopy to fill out overnight. No matter how badly you want faster progress, the plants are going to grow at the pace they're comfortable with. And honestly, that's one of the reasons growing can be so rewarding. In a world where everything feels rushed, plants force you to slow down and appreciate the gradual progress. 32 days ago, these plants were barely visible above the soil. Today, they're filling significant portions of the tent. But that transformation didn't happen in a single day. It happened through hundreds of small moments stacked together. Like a new leaf appearing, a stem becoming thicker, a branch reaching outwards, a growth tip stretching towards the light. Each individual change seemed small at the time, but together they created a garden that we're looking at today. Another thing that's fascinating is watching how the plants communicate through their growth. They don't speak, but they constantly provide feedback. Healthy leaves tell you that they're happy, strong stems tell you that they're developing properly, and rapid new growth tells you that they're making good use of the environment. Even the challenges teach you lessons. Every grow has moments where something doesn't look perfect. Maybe a leaf shows stress, maybe a plant shows differently than expected, maybe one develops faster than the other. But those moments become opportunities to learn and improve. That's my favorite part about documenting the entire process. Every stage has something valuable to teach. The seedling stage teaches patience. The early vegetative stage teaches consistency. Training teaches observation. Topping can give you confidence. And the mid-vegetative stage teaches you how powerful small improvements can become after they're repeated over time. Looking around the tent today, I can already see signs of all the work that's been put into these plants. The structure is different, the growth pattern is different, and the canopy is different. The plants are beginning to take advantage of the space around them. Some branches are racing upwards towards the light, and others are stretching outwards to occupy open areas. Every part of the plant seems to have a purpose. It's almost like the garden is building itself one piece at a time. What's exciting is that we're reaching the point where the growth starts becoming more dramatic. The root systems are no longer tiny, the systems are no longer weak, and the plants are no longer spending all their energy trying to establish themselves. Now they can focus on expansion, and when a healthy plant reaches that stage, the progress can happen quickly. Every week starts bringing more noticeable changes. The canopy gets wider, the branches get stronger, the leaves get larger. The plants begin demanding more space than they did before. That's exactly where this garden feels like right now. There's more momentum building, the plants are finding their rhythm, the training is producing results, and the topping is paying off. The environment is supporting the healthy growth, and the garden is feeling like it's entering a completely new chapter. I think that's why day 32 feels so important. It's not just another day on the calendar, it's a checkpoint. It's proof that all efforts from seedling stage was worth it. It's proof that consistency works. It's proof that patience pays off, and it's proof that healthy growth often results from doing something simple and correctly over and over again. When I look at these plants now and look back from when they started, it's honestly hard to not feel proud of the progress. The tiny seedlings that once seemed fragile have transformed into strong, actively growing plants. The stems that once needed protection are now supporting an entire network of branches. The small leaves that once seemed important have been replaced by a canopy full of healthy growth. And perhaps most importantly, the garden has developed a foundation capable of supporting everything that's still to come. Because while day 32 is an exciting milestone, it's only a part of the story. There's going to be some more training sessions ahead, more growth ahead, more lessons, more challenges, more victories. The next chapter hasn't been written yet, but if the first 32 days are any indication, it's definitely going to be a great one. Make sure y'all stay for the journey. like, subscribe, drop a comment down below on what you want next, and we are out.